It's a beautiful day in East Texas, and thank you for clicking in today on the ETBU Sportsnet as we continue to talk basketball here on the program. ETBU Extra live each Wednesday beginning at noon from the first floor of the Ornella Student Center here on the campus of ETBU. Our guest now is Lauren Lee, a post player, sophomore for the Lady Tiger basketball team. Before I ask a few questions, I want to remind you about the ETBU fan vote that comes out every week. Your chance to vote on some moments that happen in ETBU athletics. And after we talk with her, we'll tell you who wins this week's fan vote. The three things that you had an opportunity to vote for, it had to deal with your favorite moment of ETBU athletics that happened between January 4th through the 10th. Was it Josh Warrington and Kendall Roberson being named to the All-American team? Or was it Lady Tiger basketball's win over Howard Payne, their first in Brownwood over Howard Payne since 2001? Or was it the Tiger basketball comeback win against Sul State last Saturday in Alpine? We'll tell you the results of that here in just a moment. But first, we want to talk with Lauren Lee. She's a sophomore on the Lady Tiger basketball team. She wears number 45. She's from Sereno High School, which is just a little bit to the east of Nacogdoches by St. Augustine. But as Coach Hamilton alluded to, Lauren, you kind of was looking for a place to go, and he said you kind of fell into the lap here at ETBU. Kind of talk us why you chose to look to come to ETBU to play basketball.
Last year I played at Southern Arkansas University, and I was a freshman. At the end of the season, our coach ended up leaving, and he went back to coaching high school, so he wasn't moving, and so we couldn't travel with him and attend the school he was going to. And I just really started looking out to a bunch of different schools, and ETBU was one of them. And when I came here on my visit, met Coach Hamilton, and I just really, there was no one here, but I loved the way the campus looked. It's really, really a beautiful campus. And just the feeling that I got from being here, and it just felt right, and so it's just where I decided to come.
Well, Lauren, this year you're averaging 8.7 points per game, 6.7 points per rebound, had 18 points in a win against Hardin-Simmons, which is good. But I noticed in your biography that you used to play softball. When did you make that transition of saying, I think I want to go basketball instead of softball?
I played softball. I started in T-ball, and I played travel softball. And when I got in high school, I started realizing that I really liked basketball too. And so I made the decision to play AAU basketball and transition from softball. But I did play softball growing up, and I loved it.
Well, I noticed when you were 14 and under, Class A, you won a World Series.
We did.
That was an experience.
Yes, that was very, very cool. We ended up, I think we came from the losing side of the bracket, and so we fought our way back, but we did win the World Series championship, and that trophy's still in my room, and it was a really, really cool experience.
Well, I'm glad you've chosen basketball. You've probably been successful at softball as well. Well, this year the Lady Tigers on the year are 10-3 on the season, 4-1 in American Southwest Conference East Division play. Now, it's got to be difficult coming into a program as a new player and to make new friends. But then again, the transition might have been easier because Edsel Hamilton is first year as well. Has it been a good transition for you to mesh with the rest of the players who were here, say, last year?
It has. Everyone here is great. I love all my teammates. They welcomed me in with wide open arms. We started playing open gym. I got to know them a little bit, have a bunch of them in classes. They're all just very, very caring, and they generally care about you, and you need that with the team. But yeah, they're great, and so it's been really fun getting to know them.
So now that you've got 10 games under your belt, so to speak, playing for the Lady Tigers, what do you like about being part of the Lady Tiger basketball program here at East Texas Baptist University?
That's a good question. The support we get from people that come to the games, that's really cool. Just having the opportunity to play. Last year, I was at a D2 school. I was a freshman. I didn't get a lot of playing time. And being able to work hard in practice and be rewarded, but at the same time playing together as a team, it's just been really, really fun. And so I've had a really, really great experience here, and I hope we have a great rest of the season because we've sure started it off well.
I'm curious, on that long road trip to Alpine, how did you pass the time?
Well, I watched movies because they did play some movies. I tried to sleep, but it was pretty hard because I'm a pretty big person in that seat. But I like to read, and so I read a little bit, played some games, talked.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because, a lot of people don't realize the basketball season carries 2 semesters, and it's real difficult for a student athlete to get the needed study time in, get the assignments done because of the typical road trips. How have you managed your time to stay on top of the grade side, on the academic side?
Luckily, I don't usually get motion sickness, and so I'm able to I like watch movies and do my homework on the road. Luckily, we hadn't started the semester yet, so I didn't really have anything to do. I wasn't really stressed out. Time management is something that I like to think that I'm pretty good at. I like to, set aside time to do homework and to have practice, and so that's really important to be a student athlete and to keep up your grades. So.
Can you give us, from a player's perspective, your scouting report on your opponent tomorrow night in Mary Hardin Baylor?
Well, we haven't really touched on that. Yesterday in practice was a lot about, our defensive efforts and the intensity of our game. Today will be more of a slow down talk about, the specific plays they run. We're watching game film on them before practice, and so we'll get to know them a little bit and to know the certain players we need to be watching for. Coach Hamilton does a great job on the scouting report, giving us great insight of what we need to do. He gives us ways to win the game, the different plays they run, and the important players, and so he helps us out a lot on the scouting side.
Well, Lauren, thank you for being a guest today on ETBU Extra. Looking forward to a great game tomorrow night as you play Mary Hardin Baylor. Thank you for being a guest.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Lauren Lee has been our guest here on ETBU Extra, and we appreciate her taking time out of her day as classes have begun again for the spring semester this past Monday. Of course, the Tigers and Lady Tigers have a home game tomorrow night at Ornelas. They host the University of Mary Hardin Baylor. Ladies tip off at 5:30. Men's game around 7:30, and we'll have the audio broadcast right here as you're listening on the ETBU Sportsnet, and also a live video feed as well. All you got to do tomorrow night is to go to goetbtigers.com, look for the page, that game day page, and it'll have the various links for you to either watch the game or listen to the game on your smartphone. Well, that's going to wrap up today's show. Before we go, I need to tell you who won the fan vote this week. Of course, each week we ask you to go onto the ETBU social media and take a vote of the fan vote of the week, and this week you had an opportunity to talk about or vote on your favorite athletic moment that happened between January 4th and January 10th. Up for your voting was the announcement of the All-American team by USAFootball.com. And, of course, Josh Warrington and Kendall Robertson from the Tiger football team was named All-Americans. Also had the Lady Tiger basketball win over Howard Payne, which was the first time since the Lady Tigers have won in Brownwood since the 2000-2001 season. And then the last opportunity for you to vote for the fan vote was Tiger basketball's comeback win over Sol Ross. And the winner in this week's fan poll is the Lady Tiger win over Howard Payne, winning with 44% of the vote. Behind them was Josh Warmington and Kendall Robertson being named to the All-American team at 38%. Well, that's going to wrap up today's show of ETBU Extra. Thank you for clicking in and also watching later on YouTube. Hope you'll be back next Wednesday at noon as we have another edition of ETBU Extra. On behalf of ETBU and Tiger Athletics, I'm Mike Midkiff. Say thank you to Matthew and Kevin and Adam from the Sports Information Department to make all things happen here today in the Ornelas Student Center. We'll see you next Wednesday. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night for Tiger basketball. Hopefully we'll say Tigers win, Tigers win. So long from the campus of East Texas Baptist University.